Let's get to the details now. We're learning that residents of Bimbilla are fleeing the town following yesterday's gun battle that has claimed 10 lives so far. As we mentioned in the headlines, businesses have been grounded. The town is definitely a ghost town at this moment. Seth Kwame has studied security, and he has followed Bimbilla the Bimbilla clashes quite closely. He joins me now in the studio so we can, like I said, explore what a possible solution to this problem would be. Seth, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you with your beard, by the way. But let's talk about security in Bimbilla. It's very painful to see that people are dying needlessly. Do we know anything more about the situation so far?
I'm learning. I was trying to confirm before coming on air. I'm learning the death toll has risen to 11. So I was trying to confirm from the police commander, but somebody from one of my sources called me to tell me that that was what has happened. I was trying to get confirmation from the police before coming on air. But it's a fluid situation, and as you said earlier, people are fleeing the town. And during the midday news, when we spoke to some of the residents, they said they mentioned another town they were going to. And imagine the distance, and they were walking with their children. They were carrying their bags. It's a pathetic situation.
And do we know where they're going?
They are going to the next town. There is another town, I've forgotten the name. But from there, then you come to Bimbilla. And almost all the time when there is a problem, the residents flee to that town. I remember when I went there, I saw a mosque where they always go and seek refuge when there is there are problems in Bimbilla. But the saddest part of all is how children and women are being killed. Men are the target. So when their opponents go to their homes and they are not there, then they shoot and kill their children. So
was it a year ago you did a story?
A year ago I did a story,
from this area. And what were the factors? What were the causal factors?
It's a chieftaincy issue. Two sides claiming that they must be on the skin. So I did a documentary. The title was "Bullet or the Skin," as in you choose one. You either choose the bullet or you choose the skin. And they had been fighting over this for a very long time. It's been on and off. But there has been a ruling. There has been a ruling by a court ruling which favored one. No, House of Chiefs ruling which favored one side. But they are waiting the Supreme Court to enforce that ruling, and that has not been done yet. So the information I have is
how does the Supreme Court enforce the ruling exactly?
Because it's been in court for years. So they are expecting the Supreme Court to pronounce judgment, and that has not been done for a very long time. And I remember what brought this latest controversy or conflict is that the regent announced that he was going to enskin another sub-chief. I know for a fact.
I'm going to have to come back to you, Seth, because on the line right now is the Bimbilla District Police Commander, DSP Ben Mia. Hello, DSP, thank you very much for your time here on The Pulse.
Good afternoon. How are you, sister?
I'm not doing bad at all. I trust that you're well. Let's talk about what's happening in Bimbilla at this moment. We're learning that one more person may have been killed apart from the 10 who have been killed, majority of them women and children. What is the situation right now, and can you confirm the extra one death?
Yeah, yesterday after the shooting incident, we picked 2 females dead and then others injured. This morning, we went through the areas where the intensity, then we picked other dead bodies too. And so now officially we have 10 dead bodies.
Okay, we lost DSP Ben Mia there. We'll try and raise him back on the telephone line. Sincere apologies for that. But Seth Kwame is still here with me. Seth, you're building.
I was making a point that what brought about this latest conflict or trouble is that the regent wanted to enskin another sub-chief.
Okay.
Their opponent said, if you go ahead, we're going to create, this is going to create another tension in this town, so don't do that. I know DISEC, the District Security Council, met with this regent and said, don't go ahead and do this. But he told them he'll do it. And I know that they met with him until 3 a.m. yesterday. 3 a.m.
Not to do it.
Yeah, not to do it. Trying to convince him not to do it. He said no. And I know for a fact that the regional police commander, DCOP Gideon Daboa, also intervened, also called this man and spent time with him, telling him the consequences of what he wanted to do.
Do we know details of the consequences, the expected consequences that were communicated to him? And did it include maybe personal harm to him?
No, where he is protected. He's in the palace.
Okay.
And anytime there are troubles, the security would want to protect the palace around. They're about, you know, this trouble, everybody claiming to be the head of the area, so they have their own palace. So anytime there are troubles, the security would take cover over them, protect them. So definitely he will be protected. When you go to his palace now, there are armored vehicles there protecting the palace, because his father was once killed in that palace. So there's presence of security all the time.
So let's get back to the point where the security agents are trying to talk to this man not to do what he decided to do. When he decided not to do it, they should have known that he was going to do it. When he decided not to listen to them, they should have known he was going to do it anyway. Did they put in place any security measures to say
that one I can't tell. That one I can't tell. You know, Bimbilla has been under curfew for a very long time. Yesterday, they only revised the curfew and intensified it. So instead of, is it 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 8 p.m. to, they decided to bring it forward to 4. You understand? So, you know, it's a security zone, and they have been doing that. So I can't speak for the security, but probably they presume they had enough men there to quell anything that would have happened. Unfortunately, this the result we have now.
Seth, you have been studying security and you follow these people for a very long time. We do know that there are political undertones, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the recent clashes. But whilst you talk about the political undertones, let's look at whether or not there can be a lasting solution, a solution that tackles the problem from the root.
The solution will be that Supreme Court ruling, so that both sides will know that, yes, we are rightful owners to this skin. Until that comes, this trouble will continue. And I remember in one of our meetings about a month ago, I predicted that with the change in government that we have, we must be careful. We must sit up. Because they may...
I'll come back to you, Seth. So you tell us why we have to be careful with chieftaincy issues, with the change of government, which, of course, shouldn't be. But let's go live on the ground now and speak to one of our local journalists that will be speaking to Usman Nuhu. He's a journalist in Bimbilla. Hello, Usman. Thank you very much for your time here on the Pulse.
Hello.
Yes. Can you update us on the situation as we speak?
Yes, currently the situation in Bimbilla remains the same. Bimbilla is still a ghost town as of this hot afternoon. There was a rumor earlier today that this afternoon the fighting was going to spark again. That led to women and children fleeing the township of Bimbilla. And up till now, we can see people walking out of Bimbilla.
Where are they going
Just
to?
Few people. The town is absolutely empty as of now.
Okay. Where are they going to? You mentioned those who are moving.
Yeah,
they're
they are
walking.
going to the sub-villages. Everybody's just leaving. If you ask anybody that he or she is just going, some say they are going to Willensi, some are going to Nakpayile, some they are just mentioning villages.
How safe are they, even as they trek to whichever village? How safe are they? Is it safe for them to be walking through the town to wherever they believe they're going? How safe is it, would you say?
Yes. If the moment they manage to cross the barrier, they are safe to wherever they are going. But as of now, if you are in Bimbilla Township, as I am now, it's not safe here.
It's just about less than an hour to curfew. What's happening right now? Are people, putting their things together and getting ready to get indoors and not return until 6
You wouldn't see anybody again. Everybody's indoors now.
You mentioned... yes, go ahead.
The only few people you will see is people who are leaving the Bimbilla Township.
I see.
Right now, a motorcade is just passing with people, women and children. They are leaving.
Okay.
Yes.
And are they being escorted by the security, by police, by soldiers?
The police and the soldiers are on ground, but they are patrolling inside the township.
Okay.
But people leaving, they don't interact with people who are leaving.
I see.
I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
I understand.
They don't. Yes.
So
yes.
basically, people are just making their own movement. The police is there, the soldiers are there, but they are not stopping them from going anywhere. Neither are they interacting with them on any level.
Yes.
I see.
Currently, I'm at Kunkuna on the main route, and the only people you see, people passing by. And right now, there's a long trailer passing with load. The police is leading the trailer to the other barrier to leave the Bimbilla town.
I see. Let's talk about children, women and children. We've seen a number of them have been killed this morning. What
yes, we had the information we had earlier on. There were 7 dead women and 3 children.
Are there any measures? Are there any measures being put in place by the security on the ground right now to look out for these vulnerable people, for children and women?
That one I can't. Yes.
Okay.
But, we also had the information that a couple of people have been arrested.
Right. What more do we know about that?
The police is yet to confirm that one too. The police is yet to confirm that one to us.
Okay. What else should we know?
There's nothing going on here. Since this morning, we've not heard of any gunshots. But as I said earlier, all shop offices are closed down.
Okay.
Yes, nothing is working.
No one is working. So for you, how are you able to eat and do whatever it is that you need to do as a person?
Yes. Actually, I'm just around our radio station, and if I get any little chance to move, I move down. And whenever the police or the military stops, I show them my ID of the station. Then I'll do whatever I want. Then I'll move back. But as I'm speaking now, I'm just trying to get any possible means to move to my hometown, that is Tamale, because to me here it's not peace. As we are still speaking, because
we've lost Nuhu as well. One of the things I wanted to find out from him was how he was going to make that journey from Bimbilla to
so
Tamale.
If he has to go, I wonder if there will be buses around this time to take him to
That may not be
Tamale.
possible
Yeah,
today.
that may not be possible. And I'm imagining or thinking of those who are coming from maybe Accra, wanting to use the East Corridor Road through to Bimbilla to Tamale.
Okay.
You understand?
That will be another.
That will be another.
problem.
Yeah, because they can't cross. Around this time, the police have erected all their barriers, making sure that nobody will pass through. Because you should not get to Bimbilla around 4 p.m. So by now, they are stopping all vehicles from using that particular route.
And if that happens, what happens? You have to go back to Accra?
No, you can't go back to. You have to sleep in the nearest town. And I remember when I went there, I saw a number of them, commuters or passengers. They slept in their cars because they were using, women and children as well. And you can only continue your journey or the journey early in the morning. So imagine getting there late, having no food, having no water, no place to ease yourself, nothing.
Right.
That
sounds terrible,
sad.
and I don't even want to imagine it. But it is sometimes it might sound a bit abstract. But if you can imagine yourself in this situation, you'd appreciate how difficult this situation is, which is why solutions are required, and immediately so. Seth, we're talking about the undertones, the political undertones, and it's quite interesting, the political or the politicization of some of our chieftaincy institution. So you have studied in this area, in this security area, and you followed Bimbilla as well. What can you tell us about the political undertones in all of these?
And I said one of our meetings about a month ago, I predicted that if we are not careful with the change that we have, we may witness another trouble in the north.
Why did you say that?
Because anytime there is a new government, parties in a chieftaincy conflict, they always want to associate, or they associate themselves. You understand? So the moment party A comes, one side will say, oh, my party has come, so I'm now in charge. So for example, if I'm the one wanting to unseat the other one,
Yeah.
and my party comes,
you get to feel more
exactly that I
stronger,
have the upper
and
hand
then
over the person,
right.
that I can unseat the person. So I would want to start something, a process that will see to it that I can unseat my opponent.
I see.
And they always do that. So I sense that we may have an issue up there. And I said it's about time we spoke to some of our security men that they should
whether
have
or not
intelligence
they
on the ground.
yes, they could
Exactly.
foresee one or some
this
of
has
these
happened.
things, and this has happened. So you're saying that from where you stand, the solution will come from the Supreme Court?
The solution will come from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court should pronounce judgment. And again, it's not going to be that easy. So imagine the day the court will pronounce judgment and the court says, okay, the one occupying the skin now is not the rightful occupant.
That could
what will
spark
happen?
another
Exactly, that was part. So
unrest.
it's a very dicey situation, a very serious one, and it's tough dealing with it. But I think it's about time we made them aware of the cost of the conflict, what they are losing to the conflict.
How about arresting them? So they also feel the pain of the consequences.
And none of them were arrested the last time. They have been freed.
I see.
Yes, you understand? It's a very dicey thing. And you know, anytime people are arrested, the chiefs will gather, let's go and plead, let's go and see this big man. This big man should intervene, get the people released. So that's another issue.
That's another issue altogether. Seth, I'm particularly interested in the children and the women who are caught in the middle of all of this madness, for lack of a better word. And I'm trying to find out from a security expert perspective, in such a time like this, what are the recommendations about security treatment of children and women and how they can protect them?
If possible, and there are enough men on the ground, as in security men, they must be protecting homes with people. You can't say, I want to protect home A or house A and neglect the other. But here's the case, they don't have enough. So I was thinking probably they would bring all of them together, you understand?
In a particular place, say,
area
put them all in a mosque.
Exactly, where they can take very good care of them. Because they are opponents. People have been killed. So imagine a man, I fled, and later I was called that my son or my children have been killed, including my wife. I would also want to retaliate. So I will go back and do same.
Right.
So if we can have all of them in one area where the security can really protect them, it will be fine.
That will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Seth, thank you very much for your time. Seth Kwame Boateng is assistant editor here at Joy News. He's been following the issues in Bimbilla, the security issues in Bimbilla, and he's also studied security. And so he's giving us his perspective on this issue. Earlier on, we've been speaking with security persons in Bimbilla and some local journalists. The situation is pretty much the same. People are actually fleeing. 11 people so far have been killed, needlessly, you would say. This is The Pulse. My name is Gideon Daboa. You're welcome back, and many thanks for staying. We're still talking about Bimbilla. 11 people so far have been killed. The town is at the moment a ghost town. Businesses have been grounded. I've been speaking to the police, the head of the police there. I've been speaking to Seth Kwame Boateng, who's followed the issues. But joining us on the telephone line now is Father Thaddeus. He's a member of the Peace Council in the Northern region, and they've been working for years trying to unite the two factions in this particular conflict that has killed lots of women and children. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for your time here on The Pulse.
You're welcome.
You've been trying to work very hard, trying to get these two people to reason and to come together for the sake of the people. What is the missing link? Why is it not working?
Right. The issue in Bimbilla is purely an intra-gate chieftaincy problem. And over the period, we have been able to bring them together a number of times. And they are all willing to get the issue over them. But the issue as it stands now has a legal connotation because it's at the Supreme Court. And each of the parties or the factions to the conflict are eagerly awaiting the Supreme Court ruling, because they all have their own interpretation to the rulings of the National House of Chiefs, which gave the mandate to the current regent as the one who should be officially recognized. So
the appeal has been made by the other side, or the family, and they think that with that appeal, the region has no jurisdiction in certain traditional issues like enskinment of chiefs, which actually, I must say, brought about the current situation we're all facing. So it's a legal issue for now, and I think the legal people should try to help us to come out with their own verdict so that at least we'll move on from there.
Okay. Will that be the antidote? Because I've been engaging one of my colleagues here who's been following this problem and has also studied in that area, in the security area, I must say. And one of the things that he's saying is that once the Supreme Court is able to put out their ruling on this matter, that perhaps should suffice. From where you stand, do you agree with that position?
I agree 100% with that statement, because all the engagement we have been having with them, the dialogue process we have been having, it has come out clearly that they are all waiting for the Supreme Court to come out with its verdict. You know, even the last time we met them, that was about 2 weeks ago, they came out with common activities they wanted to go and undertake in the community. You know, despite the fact that the case in the Supreme Court, they still recognize each other, brothers and sisters, working together. You know, and we could see an improvement in a relationship, in understanding issues about the chieftaincy, but this is the bottleneck. And until we get through this issue, we will continue to have this problem emerging, because the regent who is sitting at the moment on the rulings of the National House of Chiefs believes that he has a mandate to execute and perform traditional functions, including enskinment of chiefs. But the other side thinks that no, once the appeal has been made at the Supreme Court, that mandate does not exist. So the legal interpretation of the issue is what will bring, I would say, a solution to this problem in Bimbilla.
Legal interpretation. You mentioned that they've been working together as brothers, or let's say brothers and sisters. And this was how long ago?
Oh, the last time we met them was just about 2 weeks ago in Tamale.
And everything looked okay?
Yes, they were okay. They were okay. Also, yesterday, I took me by surprise to hear that this has gone on, but later on I realized that it was out of the process of enskinning a warrior or the chief of the warriors.
So if...
Yes.
If the two of them have been working together and there appear to be some kind of understanding between them as they wait for the verdict of the Supreme Court, what from where you sit will be that trigger that makes one faction not want to even listen to security advice that do not go ahead with this enskinment? What will be that thing that triggers such, if you want, for lack of a better word, impunity?
You see, the whole thing is about legitimacy. The current regent thinks that his, his reign as a legitimate regent of Bimbilla has been undermined. And he would definitely like to exercise that legitimacy, because he thinks that he has been given the mandate by the National House of Chiefs. And the other side of the family, or the divide, will not recognize, because of their interpretation of the process, the legal process at the moment. You know, so that's why I'm saying that if the Supreme Court is able to come out with a determination, they are all saying that they will be ready to accept the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling, because that's the highest court of the land. But at the moment, the legal understanding of the issue is not clear, because each of the family has its own interpretation of the process.
About three things I'd like for you to address for me before I let you go, sir. First of all, there appear to be political undertones to this. What do you see from where you stand?
Well, that hasn't come up to the extent that maybe we must say it has a very big influence on this. But I know...
We lost him again. That's very painful. Sincere apologies. We'll try and raise him back again. But I've been speaking to Father Thaddeus. He's a member of the Peace Council in the Northern region, and they've been trying over the years to unite the two factions. And he's been telling me about just about the same thing that Seth Kwame has been saying, that the verdict of the Supreme Court should perhaps suffice in dealing with this matter and dealing with it at the root of it. You're still watching The Pulse. We're talking about Bimbilla, where 11 people have been killed, most of them women in Choba. 7 women, 3 children have been gunned down today. We're not sure about the gender of the final person, but so far 11 people have been killed. The town, we understand, is a ghost town. People are fleeing to the next or to neighboring villages because they're not sure of what the future holds for them there. Just in about 30 minutes or less, the curfew will begin and everybody will be expected to be in their rooms. Restriction of their movements there. We'll return to Bimbilla as and when we get any information. Mind you, we're standing by for a news conference by the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry. Very soon our men are on the ground and we'll bring you that story as soon as it comes in.